All right, back in the shed, back working on the Galant. It's been a while, but back into it. And today, I got to fix this bonnet. It's driving me crazy. So for those of you new, this is a 1976 Galant coupe. Done a bunch of rust repair on it. Changed the taillights over from GD to GC. And in the last video, I was fitting up the front end. I did a bunch of metal repair on this guard here, and this one actually. But after assembling it, I then noticed that I'd previously fixed this bonnet. The skin was terrible, but it's much better now. But as you can see, it's got a high spot in the middle. The frame of the bonnet's tweaked. So I can't have that because that gap's going to look terrible on this car. And it looks like it's about 1/2 centimetre raised in the centre. So I'm going to figure out a way of straightening that out. So what I did then to correct the bonnet to get the middle of it down is I clamped the bonnet down onto this flat workbench. Then I measured the gap at the end here between the bonnet and the workbench, and then I did the same at this end. Then I put some relief cuts in the frame of the bonnet. I put some G-clamps on either end of the bonnet and pulled it down. I needed to gain, the gap when it was on the car was 1/2 centimetre, so I needed to gain that back. So I clamped them down till I got where I needed to be, and then I welded up the frame. So now I'm going to test fit it onto the car, and hopefully it's straight. And then I'll just have to come back later and clean all this up. It's pretty ugly, but fingers crossed. Now, I don't know if I'm being too fussy, but I'm not happy with that.
That is rough.
I might be being a bit fussy, like it's much better than it was, but nah, I need to, now that I know about it, I need to get that out of there. It's probably halfway where it needs to be. So back on the bench, more relief cuts and clamp it down harder. Well, that's success. Nice and straight. No raised section in the middle. Nice even gap all the way along. Beautiful. Super happy with that. That was bothering the hell out of me. Alright, so what next? I guess while I've got the bonnet, while I've been working on the bonnet, maybe I should start tidying up the inside of that and getting it into primer. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do next. Okay, so using a combination of wire wheel on an angle grinder and some 40 grit on a DA, gotten the paint off it. So next job's to give the area a smooth over with some bog, where I've cut and stretched the frame to straighten the bonnet out. We'll get some bog on there, smooth that out, and then let's get this thing into primer. Okay, so that's all sanded back. Really happy with how that came out. For the inside of a bonnet, it's perfectly fine. It'll be good enough. And yeah, so I'll just give it a quick sand back and clean it up, get any dust and bits and pieces off it. And then I'm going to give it a coat of etch primer. And after many videos, hopefully this will be the last one of the bonnet. It's been an ordeal, that's for sure. But so close now to being done.
Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again?
So there we go, etch primer's on. Super happy. I'm mindful I declared victory on this bonnet quite some time ago, and I apologise for the slow walk, but it's actually fixed now. It fits. It lines up beautifully with the top of that guard over there. It's in etch primer on both sides. All it needs now is some high build and then top coats. It's basically done, so I'm really happy with that. This bonnet was probably the worst panel on this car, I think. I know the car had significant rust in the back of it, and you know the guards are pretty crappy as well, but I do think this was the one part that's taken me the most time, so it feels very satisfying to have gotten through it. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to putting some paint on this thing. But yeah, that's a little while off yet. Anyway, thanks heaps for watching. I hope it was enjoyable. I'm sorry that we're revisiting old tasks, but when you're doing up these old cars, this is what happens. You can think you're on top of it, and then discover that there's more to it than you anticipated. And especially if you make a howling error like I did and don't check that the bonnet lines up with the guard after you've done a bunch of work to it. You know, that's on me. I'm not a pro, just a guy in the shed having a crack. Thanks heaps for watching. See you next time.